Hi and welcome to our live crafting session this evening. It is Thursday the 2nd of May 2024. Good evening and welcome to you. If you're watching live and you're in the UK, it's just after 7 p.m. on the Thursday evening. If you're watching on replay or catch up, whether that is on my Facebook page here, Jemini Crafts, or on my YouTube channel of Jemini Crafts, a warm welcome to you. This is the second outing for one of our new stamp sets from the new annual catalogue that started yesterday, the 1st of May. I can finally show you the catalogue and the pages contained within it. Sorry about the shine there. That's the front of the catalogue. And this is a slightly different format. So with all the catalogues that I send out, I have a little explanatory leaflet, and it's almost always worth having a read of that. It explains where you can get the best discount, where to look if you're a new crafter or an experienced crafter. There's QR codes in there to help you shopping, and it also talks about some of my favourite items, some of the highlights, talks about my paper shares and my in colour club, and then on the back it tells you different ways that you can craft with me, either in person or online. So the set that we're using is called Country Flowers, and it comes from a collection called the Country Woods Sweet Collection, and it features 2 sets of stamps and dies. Now all of these are available individually. Hi Caroline, hi Nicole, good evening to you. So all of these are available individually. So we have a cute stamp set with birds' houses, and then the stamps set we're using here called Country Flowers, and that has a whole series of dies that go with it as well. And then there are some papers, and I have the papers here to show you because they are just absolutely stunning. So you'll find these on pages 50 and 51 of the catalogue, and there's plenty of inspiration on the previous 2 pages showing you samples with the stamp set and the papers and the dies, and not only the Country Woods ones but that beautiful one with the birds' houses. Some great samples in there. I do like these in particular. You can make a really nice set of cards, and they've used the designer series paper to stamp on and then added some texture with the blender pen and some ink. So some really nice samples. Hi Teresa, and good evening to you too. Let me quickly show you those papers. I have got a paper share going, and these are just 2 of the sets of shares. So this is called Country Lace, and I'll just spread them out a little bit. So we've got like a denim, we've got this beautiful, it almost looks like parchment, we've got greys, beige, a little bit of petal pink, and then more grey. So really great for all sorts of cards, not floral. And then on the back here we have this lace again in different colourways. We've got this misty moonlight on here, and some other sort of textured, it looks like textured, it's not actually textured, it's just how it's done in the print. So that is called Country Lace. Oops. Hi Jeanette, thanks for joining us. And then this one is the Country Woods, and exactly as you would expect, it features lots of different wood grain type paper. So we have this one here, this one, that almost looks like real wood, doesn't it? And then we have this one here with a little bit of sort of staining, and that one there. And then if I just turn, I must be missing a sheet because there should be 6. If I just turn them over, you have these lovely colours. So I've got this one here, like sort of peeling wood. I've got this one with the greys. This one again sort of distressed. And this one here. And this one. So I'm definitely missing a sheet because there should be 6 of each, unless I've just mixed them up. No. Who knows where that one went? And don't worry, this is my sample pack, not the paper share pack. So you won't be missing a sheet, I promise. But really nice. And these will be the papers that I'm featuring in our May class, along with those lovely birdhouse stamps and the dies. So a little sneak peek there as to what we'll be making in May. Okay, so let's get cracking. If you joined me or saw a catch-up video, this is what I created on Monday morning. Hi Carol, thanks for joining us. And this featured the little pail, the milk pail, and these flowers here. And we had great fun on Tuesday creating with these. If you look back through my Facebook posts, you'll see a dozen different cards. So not only the ones that we did there following this sort of theme, but also other ones with the flowers. Just to show you a sample of that, this is one where I have just stamped literally this single stamp all the way around the edge, just at different angles, so you get the little gaps in there. And then I shall put a bold sentiment in the middle. Just think that is so pretty. I haven't quite decided what colour I'm doing this set of flowers yet, or whether I'll leave them as leaves. But this is boho blue, the layer behind. I just think it's really, really pretty, and so many things you can do with this set. One thing that a few of the people were challenged with was how to layer these items together. So for example, we have the teapot and the stool, and if I just show you, if I just get out, this is Misty Moonlight. So if for example you stamp the stool first, like so, and then you add the teapot on top, just in that little top section. Obviously you see the back of the table, which in reality, unless this was covered in with dark ink, you wouldn't see. So you have to treat it as something that needs masking, because effectively the teapot is on top and therefore in front of, if you like, as you look at it, the table or stool. So I'm just going to show you how we did that. I'm not going to stamp the stool in blue. So let's give this a go. Let me clean that off first though. So I've got a piece of card here that I'm going to use, and that's the same, yes it is. I'm going to pop it onto another piece of boho blue just because I happen to have one ready, and that's going to go onto our base card. So our base card is half a piece of our standard A4, and that's been cut down the centre at 10.5 centimetres and scored across the middle, which is measuring up from the bottom 14.85 centimetres. And then I've got a piece of boho blue that measures half a centimetre smaller, so this is 10 by 14.35 centimetres. And then I've got a piece of card which is 1 centimetre smaller, just so that I've got a bigger border around the edge, and it's that I'm going to be working on. So the first thing I want to do technically is I want to stamp the stool, but I really have to have this on first, but I don't know where that's going to go in relationship to the stool. So what I did was find a piece of post-it note, which of course is hiding. This one will do. And you don't actually have to use and stamp this, but I am going to, just so you can see where I'm coming from, in case you need to do something similar yourself. I'm using Early Espresso. This is the top part of the post-it note, which is sticky, and so I'm going to put the top of my table, oops, where that sticky element is. Let me just wipe this off, as I cleaned my table today. Okay, just leave that out for a minute. And then what I'm going to do is just cut around the bottom here to get the right height. Now, if you were going to do a lot with this stamp set, then you could cut this whole thing out. But all I need is I need to calculate the height of the stool from the bottom, so I know where to stamp my teapot. Does that make sense? So I'm going to position this here as being my stool base, and I presume that is level, like so. So I know that is in position for where the stool is going to go roughly. It doesn't have to be exact. What I'm then going to do is stamp my teapot above, because that's going to be in front. I'm going to cover the teapot up and then put the stool on top. Now, to make that a little bit more accurate, I am actually going to trim this top piece off. But all we did for coffee and card was I just measured roughly how high that was and cut a piece of post-it note for that purpose. So I hope everybody has had a good week. I apologise, I haven't got my phone in front of me, but I can see messages on my computer. I'm going to have that actually just a little way up from the bottom so that I can ground it. Okay, so that's where my table is going to go, and I want to position my teapot on top. What I'm actually going to do is cut this piece out, like so. And I am putting it long ways, just so I've got the height enough for the teapot, and then whatever I'm going to put on the top, which could be flowers, it could be the leaves. So I'm going to stamp my teapot next, and I'm just going to use Misty Moonlight, and I will colour in the teapot in blue. I wanted Night of Navy, but I can't just see it to hand. Okay, so I know that this needs to be just above the front element, the front part of the table. So I'm going to stamp that on there so that I'm just clear of the post-it note. Okay, I'll just lift that up so you can see that. Now what I can do is stamp my table, but I need to cover up my teapot, because if I stamped it right the way over, you'd get the line of the table across the teapot. So I'm going to stamp this, and I just need a post-it note. Now I happen to have one of these from Tuesday's session, and all I've done is stamped on a post-it note and just roughly cut around the base, or somebody has, may not have been me. Okay, here's my table or stool, and I want this to just come over the base of my teapot that I've covered up, like so. This is early espresso. So now when I take that away, can you see I've got my teapot sat on top. Now because of this line, it's not actually that clear. What you could also do is stamp your teapot onto some really pretty patterned paper and cut it out either with the die or with some scissors. And you could also stamp this element and then stamp the teapot and cut round it. In the set there is this cute little design here, which you could stamp on the teapot here to create a little pattern. So I'm just going to do that. I haven't got my smallest block to hand, but I'll use this one. And you could do 3. I'm just going to do, I think, 1 in the centre, but I think 3 would actually fit, maybe, like so. It's in the middle of my teapot. Sometimes the smaller stamps can have the greatest effect. Okay, now in the set there is a little line here. So this is separate. You can use that to top off the teapot before you put your plants or anything on top. In the set of dies there is a little teapot lid. So you cut out teapots out of patterned paper if you didn't want to be colouring in. I'm now going to add, I think, some of this here, and I think it will just position on top, and I will just use espresso, but I could have used mossy meadow or something. So I'm just looking to see where that's going to go, so it just sits on top without masking, like so. But what I could have done is left this on top and then stamped, and then whatever was going over the teapot would have been clearly visible then. Okay, I've got a sentiment to pop on, and here I have got best friend ever, which I could put right the way across, or you could stamp and then cut them into 3 different elements if you wanted to. I think I'm just going to use this one as is, like so. Best friend ever. And now I'm just going to do a quick amount of colouring in. So I've got light and dark boho blue, which I hope isn't too dark for my little teapot here. I've got dark balmy blue, so I might use that combination. I've got my stool, I've got some greens. This is light granny apple green that I'm going to use for my leaves, and I'll just grab a dark one as well, hopefully. They're all laid out ready for tomorrow, so hopefully I can find them pretty quickly. So let's just quickly do the foliage. Just going to work from the top down. So I've got dark granny apple green, and I need to take my glasses off. So as I said, I hope you've had a good week. I've got quite a few friends who have been away or are away on holiday in, let's see, Italy, in Mexico, in Spain, in France. I just hope they bring some sunshine and nice weather back with them. It's been pretty miserable here today. So I'm just running that darker shade right the way through each of those centres, and then I've got light granny apple green, just going to use in a circular motion for each of these leaves. And for the stool, I just want a light, maybe light crumb cake would do the job. We have a lovely new colour called Basic Beige, exactly as it says, and that's like a lighter crumb cake. Sadly, we don't have blends pens for those, and I don't really know why. I must ask and find out why some colours don't have blends pens. So just going over there fairly quickly. Obviously you can take your time when you're colouring in, and there's 3 elements you can have on top. So you've got the foliage here, you've got the flowers that I was using, that I used on Monday. It's a really nice crisp image. And then we've got a smaller set of delicate roses as well. Okay. So fairly swiftly colouring those in. Just check you're colouring in the right bit, especially when there's leaves and flowers together. It's quite easy to be filling in the wrong elements. And a few little stalks there, so I'm just going to do some light colouring, and then I'm just going over that centre with the light pen, just to soften that edge, like so. Now take my glasses off so I can't see if anybody else has commented. I do apologise. There we go. Right, let's do our little pot. So let's see, I've got light and dark boho blue. Just worry it's going to be too dark against this, so let me just see if I can find a light balmy blue. So I do like to have a darker edge. Bear with me 1 second while I have a quick look. I've got pool party and more pool party. Well, seaside spray might do the job. And then I've got crumb cake and crumb cake for my stool. They all do nicely. Okay, let me just lift that up so you can see what I've got so far. There we go. And right, this is dark balmy blue. That's fine. So just feathering that in from the side. Left and right. And you can decide where you want the light to be shining And if you're not worried about that, you can just literally colour the whole thing in just a single colour if you prefer. Just going to do that there, and a little bit where the handle, the spout joins the main piece. And then I've got this light seaside spray, which retired, I'm trying to work out whether it was last year or even the year before. Okay, I'm going to leave these pieces here white, I think. Like so. Like that. There we go. So I've got card class on Saturday that I'm really looking forward to. That's in Buckingham. And then I'm off to see my daughter to help her on Sunday after her recent operation. Okay. I could have definitely got away with doing a little bit of a line there, but I've just used the pen and I'm happy with that. Let me lift that up so you can see it. There we go. And then finally we've got our stool. So I've got dark crumb cake, just going to use where the legs meet the table, like so. There were thunderstorms coming up from the south. I don't know if they caught you, Carol, but we didn't get anything here. It had all fizzled out or just bypassed us, one or the other. And let's just do a little bit of a darker shade underneath where the teapot is. And then I've got light crumb cake. Hopefully I've got enough in the pen here. Just using the brush tip to cover a bigger area. And then I'll use the fine tip for the detail. Really just speeds it up. That's all. Just because you're covering a bigger area in one go. Let me just see what Carol said. Oh, just rain. Oh dear. I do enjoy a good thunderstorm if I'm inside and watching it, not from the outside. Okay. There we go. So there's the top. Let's fill these little bits in here for the legs. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of a line underneath where the table would show a little bit of shade or shadow. There we go. So just going over that join to soften it again, like that. There we are, quite a different look from the others. So I'm just going to do a very light brush. This is with the light crumb cake, and that just helps ground it. I'm not sure that you can actually see much of that on the screen. I'll just try and make it a little bit darker for you so you can see that. There we go. Okay, hi, is that Fran? It is. Hi Fran, thanks for joining us. Sorry I didn't see you pop up on there. So, just some straightforward colouring, and then I've got Best Friend Forever. We've coloured in the leaves there. If I had more time, I would go over in a bit more detail. Okay, so let's mount this one up. So I've got a card that opens from the top, like so. So it's a half an A4, scored at 14.85. And I'm just going to use this because I happen to have it. It's boho blue, matches the piece that I've used. Let's just put some glue on this, just a light amount of glue. There's no height to it. If I turn this on its side, you should hardly see any glue as it goes over. If you can see a whole thick layer of glue, you've definitely got too much. So I have mailed out the majority of the catalogues. I'm just waiting to finish some bookmarks, so there may be a few more to come. Let's pop that down. So if you haven't received yours by the weekend, then let me know if you're in the UK or Ireland, and then I can get one posted to you. Okay, so just pressing that down. So this little stamp here I could actually put up on here. What do we think? Quite tempted to just use that same Misty Moonlight. So just a light touch, and this one I've done sort of vertically, so I'm going to keep this the same, but you could easily, you know, just have those randomly stamped. 1, 2, like so, just really to fill in some of that space. And you could put a little embellishment in the centre of those, couldn't you? Now I'm wondering if I need a third. I've got 3. I'll definitely put one on the inside, and maybe a thank you or something. Or there's a so lucky to know you one. I'm going to put one in the bottom right and the top left, like so. What do you think? I'm wondering if I need another one or whether those 3 work perfectly. Let me just see. I've got a tiny little gem to fit on. So it's hard to believe that these come from that same stamp set, because they all look so different. Let me just look for a little bit of bling. Let's see if I've got something tiny that I can put in. I've got these tiny little ones. A little blue one there, but only one. Let's see. It's green, but I really want to pick up either the blue or keep it plain. There we go. So this set is called Country Flowers, if you missed it. Gold and white. I think those are too big. If I had 3 of those, that would work, but not in this packet. So let me just grab. What have I done with them? There they are. No. There we go, that will do. Sorry, I've sort of put them away without realising it. Just going to use these tiny little ones. They're just slightly cream, but I think they will work well. One in the middle there. Add one at the top, and that brings all 3 sort of connected together. There we go. So there we go, there's our finished card. Not sure you can see much of that bling, but hopefully you can. And so I just need to decide what colour to do this other flower, or whether to do that as green foliage. I kept this one as foliage. So if you've got any suggestions for that, shout out now. Oh, thanks Jeanette, I think she's gone. Hi Scott, good evening to you. So this one is inspired by Scott's daughter, who did a great job just using this all the way over in a complete design, and I've just gone for it round the edge, but it was definitely inspired by Grace. So I am going to put a large sentiment in the middle, but I just want to add one more colour. So the question is, what colour? I've got blue, pink, yellow. I want to keep it really soft, I guess. If I had the new peach pie, that would work. But it's not here. It's in my other room. Let me just see. I don't really want anything too bright. Oh, I'll tell you what might work. Would be, if I can find it. I've got Purple Posy, which is a retired colour, but it's a soft purple. So it's a bit like Fresh Freesia. I wonder if I got the light version of that to hand. Highland Heather. Sorry. Like Fresh Freesia. Let me just see out of these two which I prefer, and I'll just fill in that flower. I'm going to go for this one, slightly more purpley. So just quickly going to do this. So the main element of card making is finished. So if you've got things to do, then feel free to carry on. I'm just going to put this little bit of colour on these flowers. And of course you can just stamp the flowers and leave them white, or whatever colour you stamp them onto. Grace also did a nice card, stamping them all over but just colouring one of the sets of flowers. And Scott of course did some masking. There's a flower in there actually. I didn't mask any of this, I literally just stamped around the edges, in the middle, in between. So there is a few little bits that overlap, but I'm not really worried about that. Remember, if you order the stamp set of the week, you will get all the components for these 3 cards. Let's see, this one here. Just so this is finished off, and then I'll find a nice bold sentiment to put in between, in the centre. And I might stamp it, or I might put it on an element and pop it on with dimensionals. There we go. Just being careful not to go over the edge, as I've already attached this. Normally I would do the stamping and colouring and then layer together. There we are. Got a few odd bits of white, but I think actually I might just leave them because I think that works. Have I got any of that blue? No, I haven't. But I can see a leaf or two that I've missed. There we go. So that is it from me. Now I do have a catalogue walkthrough, and I also have an open house catalogue launch a week on Sunday. But I will do a catalogue walkthrough probably early next week, so that people have had a chance to get their catalogues and look through it. And just to explain some of the new layouts, because it is a little bit different excuse me, to what we're used to. Okay, I'm just looking for odd leaves that I've missed. And if you commented on the cards I made the other day, then the cards that I made are on their way to you. Just do that one there. And a little bit of light blue on there. That's pink. Okay, I think I'll leave that. So I hope you like that one. I need to find a nice bold sentiment to go in. Let me see what anybody has said. Oh, Fran's been colouring the plants with soft succulent. Yes, they are rather like a succulent, aren't they? That's for sure. So excellent. Yeah, good choice. It's a nice colour, that. Shame that we lost it though. Never mind. Progress, because we've got our lovely new in colours. So there we are. I hope you like that. That was today's main card, showing you how to do this layering up here. So what we did was we masked off where that table would go, like so, and then we stamped the teapot. Then we covered the teapot up and stamped the table or stool, and then I popped this back on, but you could have left the teapot on there and then stamped that a little bit further down, but I'm quite happy with it as it is. A nice crisp clean card, as you can see. Very much my style. So I look forward to crafting with you again very soon. I'll be crafting with some people on Saturday in Buckingham, tomorrow afternoon in Brackley. We're doing these cards, and we'll be doing the same in toaster next Monday. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you joining me this evening, and if you're watching on catch up whenever and wherever you are, then thank you so much for your time. If you've got this far, always appreciate a comment or a like, and if you want to make sure you know when I go live next time, just hit the subscribe button on YouTube or on Facebook. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care and look after yourselves and your loved ones. Bye for now.